Officer Tatum, are you telling me that they had reception on Horn Island? Because many people are saying, well, the reason that there's nothing on Nolan's phone, like there's no pictures, there's no snaps, there's no text, there's no anything, not because it was deleted, but because he didn't have reception. But you're telling me the other boys did have snaps, photos, videos, and reception?
Yeah, no, Nancy, let me clarify this for you. It wasn't that they uploaded this online. They showed me videos and things that they took from the boat during the outing on 4th of July. I was personally out at Horn Island. I rode out there on a boat, and I didn't have great reception there. And I left my phone in the boat when I got into the water, and we were actually going out to do interviews.
Objection. You've been in court long enough to know you're gonna get objections. You said you didn't have great reception, but you did have reception, did you not?
No, there was reception there. It just wasn't great, and it wasn't great enough for people, in my opinion, to upload. You can make a phone call potentially, but you wasn't gonna upload data to a social media account. When I listened to the CETO call, you could tell that the call dropped out several times. It seemed like they were having trouble at times hearing each other. So it is consistent. And anybody that travel out there that have gone to the 4th of July celebration, they know that the reception is not very great. So the videos that they showed me in call logs were things that were not associated to social media. It was, pictures and videos that they took on their phone.
D.L. Hughley just rage baited Officer Tatum to expose himself. See, Tatum has been out here covering his Nolan Wall situation, pretending like, he's not a tap dancer, pretending like he just wants the truth. When in fact, his real intentions for bringing up how many black kids were on the island and things of that sort was to redirect the attention to black folks and take it away from the white folks that was suspects. And he just exposed his head, right?
Hello guys, I hope you are doing well and thank you so much for joining us. And today's episode, let us look at this ongoing debate which has been happening about now Nolan, who happened to be unlived. And guys, allegedly it has been said there are some people who are suspected that they did the act, but now the case or the whole thing has shifted, because a lot has not been investigated, and the gear has shifted now we are looking at this man who happened to be a black American man called Officer Tatum. And guys, he happened now to be so much on support of these white children or these white teens who happen now to be suspected, and he's so much in defensive for these young boys, though it is true that they are not yet indicated that they are the one who did so, though now there's the investigations are ongoing. And guys, to my surprise, I thought this man is one of something of help. Maybe he's somewhere in a government or somewhere in doing or going or with those investigations. But now, to my surprise, I came to realize that he is not even an officer. He is a retired officer. I thought he is somewhere. And guys, to my surprise is that you can see the energy that he is using to support or to fight so hard that these white teens or the white people might not be the one now to be accused of doing, and whereby now he has changed everything that people use now to experience or to see in Mississippi. And guys, a lot has been said, and they have the history of doing a lot of things, and the hate and all that the black Americans has been going through in that area. So guys, we got the videos that you have prayed, and we have the credit to the owners of these videos. They are there for us to run and to get more insight of the happenings. So guys, just take a look, and we come back with more commentary.
And all it took was a little rage bait from D.L. Hughley. Okay, so D.L. Hughley responded to Officer Tatum, who has had his name in his mouth the last 2 weeks. Right, D.L. Hughley finally gave him the smoke he was waiting for.
This is Brandon Tatum.
Y'all just see what unfunny ex-comedian D.L. Hughley just said about me. Posted a picture of me and my wife. To do what? To be a racist?
Hold on, Tatum. You can't play that race card, bro. You have said on numerous occasions, racism is no longer a thing. It doesn't exist. So if it's no longer a thing, then D.L. Hughley can't be racist, according to you. Now, D.L. Hughley didn't post a picture of Tatum and his wife to humiliate him. He posted a picture to get a point out. See, Tatum have been out here parading, doing PR work for potential suspects in Nolan Wells' murder, right? Potential suspects. I'm not saying they did it, but they are suspects. So he been out here running PR, disparaging Nolan Wells' mama, calling her a racist, calling her a race hustler, a grifter, when all the mama ever said was, I just want answers. The mama never assigned blame to anybody. The mama never said anybody did it. The mama even says she don't think it's about race, but she can't ignore that component. Tatum called the mama all type of names. Or understand who this man is. I think that was fair.
You are the lamest dude in all of comedy.
What is more lame than calling yourself the job you used to have? You're not an officer anymore. You were a football player who failed at being a football player. You didn't make the team, so you became an officer. That wasn't working out, so you became an influencer. You talked about emotion. What is more emotional than this?
The word.
You cried for a white dude who the people didn't even think you worthy to speak at his funeral. You said you wouldn't cry for your son, but you cried for him. That's not emotion? You talked up the way Benjamin Crump talks.
Just want to blame white folks. And so I go out there because I know that lame Al Sharpton and Mr. I can't read Benjamin Crump is just race hustling, y'all.
You talked about how those boys are innocent. You had proof. Now, I don't know whether they're innocent or not. I don't know what happened there. But I know one conversation with a failed football player and a social media influencer is not the predicate. You don't have any toxicology report. You don't have an autopsy report. You talked about black people acting a fool. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that took 31 years and 3 trials to prosecute and find guilty the murder of Medgar Evers. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that in 2005 found 215 black people that were dead and buried in a pauper's grave and nobody knew they were there. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that just killed a 1-year-old boy and nobody's being brought to account about. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that has been poisoning black people with the water since the 1960s. Black people didn't look for this fight. They want justice. All they want is accountability. And if it's those boys, it should be that. Nobody has a predetermined notion. I don't know what happened.
The older I get is when I realize common sense ain't common no more. Bruh, common sense ain't common, bruh. See, people are annoyed at Officer Tatum because Tatum started off his coverage not with, I don't know what happened, I'm gonna look into it. He started it all off with, there's no evidence of any foul play, y'all lying. And then he got cooked during the Stephen A. Smith debate, and then he slightly adjusted his stance to, well, I can't rule out foul, in a foul play either. I just don't think these white folks did it. And then as recent as today, his stance then elevated again to where he's saying he don't think Nolan Wells drowned and he think Nolan Wells was murdered. He just don't think he was killed by the friends on the boat. So you started off with there's no evidence of foul play to now there is foul play, but you still pretended like black folks was in the wrong. All we're saying is we don't know who did it, but like everybody is a suspect. And we're not ruling out any suspects until somebody is apprehended and arrested. That's our stance. But Tatum comes out because, bro, he's so obsessed with trying to be, I don't know, like the savior for white folks. He's so obsessed trying like trying to put on that cape, right? He's willing to do whatever it takes to placate to white supremacists, which is why I think the first person they call is Officer Tatum. Right? They could have gone to Nancy Grace. They could have gone to TMZ, which have been pretty neutral. TMZ have been neutral. They could have gone to TMZ. No, but they went to Officer Tatum because they understand Officer Tatum will do whatever it takes. He will lie. He will misconstrue the facts. He will leave things out. He will make edits like he did during the interviews with the friends to make sure that whatever can make these kids look guilty would never come out, opposed to going to somebody, right, with an unbiased lens. So they're not trying to contaminate, right, the interview or the evidence with their biased lens. Tatum didn't do that, right? So because Tatum have changed his stance multiple times, because Tatum continues to disrespect the family and Benjamin Crump, even though Tatum is the one who has changed his stance. Benjamin Crump from day one have says, foul play happened here. We don't know who did it, but we'll find our answers. And because of that, Tatum is calling Benjamin Crump a race hustler, while at the same time saying foul play happened, but it's wrong for us to suspect that the white kids did it. What's wrong with suspecting? Everybody is a suspect.
2015 to 2024, about a 10-year period, 3,000 to 3,500 black Mississippians were killed by black offenders. This mother said 3 scenarios, didn't he? Make sure that's right. He gave 3 stories of alleged impropriety. That seemed like a high number, but he gave 3 stories of impropriety spanning over, 30, 40 years. Just in 10 years, there's 3,000 to 3,500 black people killed by other black people. You tell me what, like when y'all talk about historical context, when you stupid, all that stuff makes sense to you.
Black murderers kill people they have access to. White murderers kill people they have access to. Asian murderers kill people they have access to. And because races usually live near their own, black people kill black people the highest. White people kill white people the highest. Asians kill Asian the highest. That has nothing to do, Tatum. Nothing like at all to do with why black folks don't trust Mississippi. Mississippi has a history of victimizing black folks and having no accountability come with the victimization, right? Mississippi has a history of racism. Mississippi has a history of hating black folks.
And guys, it is so shocking that after all that has been said and done, guys, even if you are not yet like qualified to make any judgment concerning the whole scenario, in that interview you can see and you can learn a lot being said. And guys, after now, this officer has been like exposed of what he's trying to do. But I think I don't know what you call such people who are so much against themselves, because this is so much against yourself, because he is much on blame of black Americans, and he kind of like want to frame that black Americans are the worst people that has like ever been existing in America. And he's trying to work so hard, and he's so passionate to make sure that the white people are safe, whereby now there are so many proofs that to show that that is what has been like ongoing, and we can see so much like happening. Okay guys, the case is ongoing and nobody has like vindicated that he is guilty of the happenings, but now everything has shifted now to this man, because now you wonder, what is he saying? What is he trying to tell people? What is he trying now to like blame on? And who has he become to a point that he is so much against the black people, so much on blame of black people? Where did this hate come from? Because you didn't like imagine or expect a black man being so much in hate and so like and investing so much on like how he can like continue like tarnishing and talking against the black people. And these are your brothers and your sisters. So guys, thank God for this interview, because he has been like being exposed. So all that he has been like saying and doing behind his mind, behind everything, is geared by the mind and by the imagination that he is of white supremacist. and he is so much for them. And I think the token that has been like said that he has been given, I think this guy is like loaded with a lot by the white supremacists to speak for them. And what do we call this? Is it reverse psychologically? How can you like define all this which is like ongoing? Has there anything that has been like experienced that someone can be so much against you and is your brother, and he can invest so hard for you being vindicated, or for you to be wrong, and to be always like satisfying the mind of the white people towards now the black Americans? So guys, just take a look.
Watch how he talks about black folks.
So if you want to play the historical injustice math, it's fair to believe that a black man that's killed could be killed by another black man. How you know the black kids that were out there with Nolan had nothing to do with it? Statistically, historically, it's more likely that he'll be killed by a black person. Ignorant, y'all niggas ignorant. I'm tired of being nice to y'all. I hope I don't get in trouble with certain people, but I'm tired of being nice to y'all. I'm sick of y'all low vibration, ignorant niggas. And y'all stupid on every level. And disproportionately, black people come across as stupider than anybody else, disproportionately.
If this field nag a lie about them taking a polygraph test, what else would this mother lie about?
My understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer.
Now, how does one go from saying they took a polygraph test to they didn't take a polygraph test?
And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector. It's a different methodology. Yeah, I don't believe it.
How does one say, yes, they took a polygraph test to know it wasn't a traditional lie detector test? Make up your mind.
They took other stressors in order to analyze.
So then the answer to did they take a polygraph would be no.
Well, yeah, I think it.
You can't even get the lie out of your mouth. This motherfucker right here is truly a house nag. Like, I can give about a person's political view, but when you wrong, you're fucking wrong. When Nancy smell a lie, she'll sniff that shit right on out. Count me out.
Him. We have warned you about Brandon Tatum. From the very beginning, he's become one of the loudest public defenders of these surviving teenagers. He's decided to become a defender of the teenagers. Okay. He might think he's helping these teens. In my opinion, he is doing the exact opposite. Every time, there's a nickname for him, but anyway, that rhymes with his name. Every time he inserts himself into this story, he becomes part of the story. He becomes part of the story. Instead of shifting the conversation back to the evidence, the focus turns to him, his claims, his interviews, his defense of the teenagers, his commentary, and his credibility. Now, interesting about the teenagers, because the story really is about Nolan Wells, but for him, and his coverage has become about the teenagers instead of the victim. And so, as I said, it becomes about the claims, his interviews, his commentary, and his credibility. That doesn't help these young people at all. You know what it does? It creates another controversy for people to argue about. And so, remember in the beginning, I said, well, what is up here? I have to ask the same question that I have asked when the interview was first announced. And what many people have been asking as well. Why him? Why him? Why him? And it's not that because I want the interviews. No, I don't. I would have taken my butt down there if I wanted to. That's not it. Because remember your mom said, I'll tell you. Why would your strategy be to sit down with a far-right commentator whose brand is built on confrontation, outrage, and anti-black statements? Why? What audience are you trying to reach with that? What credibility are you trying to
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me, that they all passed. And all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer. And they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test.
Why do you say that's from
but
what
one.
you understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there. So that's what I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lie detector test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according to what they told me, they all took a lie detector test and passed. And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze if the people were telling the truth or not.
So then the answer to did they take a polygraph would be no.
Well, yeah, I think it could be semantics, because they took a test to analyze whether or not they were being truthful in their statements, and that certified test, they passed it.
Officer Brandon Tatum, just shut the hell up, because Nancy Grace has just showed the world that you are a big ass liar. You can't even tell the truth about a lie detector test, a made up lie detector test. She clearly asked you a question about a lie detector test. You talking about what you think and all this stuff. You know damn well them boys didn't take no regular lie detector test. You already know it. Now see, you sit up here and you said, hey, y'all gonna have to apologize to these boys. These boys ain't did nothing. But you sitting up there in front of the whole world letting Nancy Grace embarrass your ass. You a liar. You a liar. You can't even tell the truth about somebody taking a lie detector test. It was a simple yes or no, and the answer was no, because that's not considered a lie detector test. That's what she was saying. Now, I'm not in law enforcement, don't know nothing about it, but I knew enough to understand that that was not considered a lie detector test that she was asking you, did your boys take? You know what I'm saying? You a liar, man. You a liar. Nolan Wells has been unalived, and it's unfortunate what happened to him, but instead of you wanting to uncover the truth, you so busy lying to cover these boys up that you lying about a damn lie detector test. Nancy Grace has embarrassed you in front of the whole world of social media. Sit your black ass down.
What it is, and that's a tragedy. Let the investigation unfold. Benjamin Crump they're already out saying this has something to do with race because the boy was with white guys. That is asinine.
Just like you
that is
described
shameful.
Just like you describe it when you talk about black on black crime constantly. So what, a black man, a young black boy went with his white friends and didn't come back. So why are you not asking the white children to speak up? Nobody saw nothing, Brandon.
Officer Tatum is a disgusting human being. He is a disgusting human being that hates his skin color, and I'm sure he wishes he was white. And people like him are so stupid because he doesn't even realize that eventually they're going to come for you as well. It's going to happen. So no matter how white your wife is, no matter how anti-black your politics are, no matter how many times you refuse to see a black victim when they actually are a black victim, no matter how many times that you decide to talk about black on black crime, you are still an N-word to them at the end of the day. And if a lot of your friends just so happen to be able to snap their fingers and put black folks in chains, where do you think you're going? What kind of chains do you think you're going to be in? People like him do a disservice to the black community. At the end of the day, we need answers for this young man. This young man and his family deserve answers. That's it.
Well, here we go again. This man, he don't give up.
You can't make this stuff up, man. Let's get the first clip rolling.
New at 9, parents of Nolan Wells' friends and local officials were reportedly sent notices of intent informing them to expect lawsuits in connection with the investigation surrounding Wells' death. According to our media partner, the Sun Herald, those letters were sent by a Richland law firm, Carroll Bufkin PLLC, who is working alongside civil rights attorney Ben Crump. It is unclear at this time who exactly received these letters, but we do know they instruct recipients to immediately preserve all evidence in their possession in its original form and directs those recipients to suspend any automatic deletion or overwrite functions that could destroy evidence.
Y'all, this is all a media play. If somehow these boys were to have been responsible, you think 2-3 weeks later, you're going to send out a letter for them to preserve what evidence? If they really did this is a waste of your time and resources.
Okay, all right, look, listen, Tatum, sir. Again, we understand that this is not going the way you plan for this to go in your mind. Again, we're watching in real time. You're trying to protect these boys. Why? Tatum, sir, just listen to colored people, okay? Listen to us colored. We know you don't like us. Listen. They going through a process, right? This is what you call the process of elimination. That's what they're doing. Even if it's a few weeks later, allow this to happen. Why are you so upset? We understand you went out there and you did what you did, but man, my goodness, let that shit go. Let it go. Let this happen. If it's proven, they don't find anything or they can't find nothing. This is what you call an investigation. Something that you lack, you don't like. If somebody give you information, you just going to run with it. You're not going to pull from multiple resources or multiple backgrounds. You're going to take something and say, "Ooh, got it. Y'all, we have proof. Let's go with it." We understand your tactics, and please don't let it come from a black person. Oh my God, they just broke the law. Hey man, calm down. It's all right.
Nolan. Well, we assume them white boys did something to his ass. Nah, we even, mother.
And guys, this officer, it is so sad that he come, you can see him even like crying, because deep inside him he can feel it, he can feel the heat, he can feel like what he is doing is not right, and you can see the guilt about what he is like trying to do. But because there's business, but because he is just being like given a token somewhere, he cannot have the audacity or the confidence to face that which is driving him to be so much against the Black Americans. And we might call him, or we might like say much about him, but psychologically this man has to be like investigated, and people now to come to know what makes him to be so much against the Black Americans. And these are the brothers, these are the sisters, and the rest. He said it earlier. I've been following all his stories, and there were times that he was saying like when he was young, he didn't have like loved much about the white people. And I wonder, and I like ask myself, what changed? Yes, he's educated, and he is so much like he knows much about the history, but why is he like so much in the history of the white people and he forget about his own history? Because Mississippi has been like tagged being a state whereby now this has been like ongoing to a place, to a point whereby now there is no accountability, and that is what the Black Americans are asking for. They're not asking for much. They're asking for accountability. Because the whole thing is like we are going back now to, or the whole situation or the whole scenario is like people are going back now to the time of lynching. And it is not bad to call it out. Because the happenings is like something which is not like appealing and cannot be like a proud. And this is all that which now happen now to be like being done now to the Black people. But he failed to perceive that. And he wants so much now to bring on board the white supremacists and to call them or to bring them that to bring them that they are clean, or they don't have that much that the white or the Black people are kind of like imagining or like saying or like experiencing. And he wanted to put all the blame to the Black people. That one thing, he's calling a lot of names, or he has so many perspectives of how the Black Americans are. One thing, these are the things that were said in the time of slavery. That the one thing, they were punished because they are lazy. Secondly, they are so much about now the Black Americans being like people are so jealous, the white people were so jealous of the masculinity about now the Black Americans men. And that could be the reason why the lynching was like happening. We might not see it like done like how the history like has like taught us or has told us was happening, but you can see it like happening to date. And the way all this unliving of these young men like happening, when you have the common sense, you can just like relate to some point. You can relate to some point. And I wonder why this Black officer, or he is said like he is a retired Black officer. He is a Black officer, happened to be called Tatum. That name is not much of, forgive me for apologies for not pronouncing it well, but he failed to know the history of the Black Americans. And what do we call this? This is just a self-hate. And that's why you're seeing him like even crying, because you know, or he is the only one who can tell us the pressure, the pressure and what the distress and the stress that he is going through when like being pressured, like continue doing it, continue tarnishing these people's name, continue like bringing them on board and like tarnishing them that they are the ones to be blamed. Continue like telling the world that Black Americans has been always playing the victim. And of course, they believe that, of course, people will like look and believe because he is talking about his own brother, and who can tell much about you? It's only your brother who can like expose you. But guys, Black Americans has stood on ground, and they kind of not like buy all these ideologies, all these stereotype that they are the ones who are wrong and they are the ones who has been like on a wrong side. So guys, all these, and we thank God for that interview that has exposed him, and has just like exposed him like has something that he is hiding about the whole scenario. He acted like an investigator, whereby now I used to believe that he is the one who is in charge about the investigations, about what Nolan like went through and the rest, because he interviewed these white young teens, and I thought that he's the one who is in the picture. He kind of like the witness of like what happened now to Nolan. But now the motive has like changed, because he didn't like did it for the benefit of the Black Americans. He didn't like did it for the benefit of Nolan's justice to be done and to be served. He did it just to throw or to delay the justice of this young man. That's what I can like come to a conclusion. And that's what I kind of like, in all this whole thing, we can learn it like, it's just like a project of white supremacists. He is after something, he is selling something, he is on the business. He's not just like doing it for interview, no. He is in business, he is in payroll. Right now, and I ask myself, how will it like benefit you? Like eating or enriching yourself when you're selling out your own. What will it benefit you when you act like you are a sellout to your own brother? And guys, it is so sad. It is so sad that you will be on earth for that one purpose. Because let me tell you, I normally hear someone telling us like every day, your child is your child, whether he is wrong or not. Your brother is your brother, your sister is your sister, your mother is your mother, your brother is your brother, whether they are wrong or not. When you kind of like get something or like find something like wrong with them, you don't like expose them outside. You bring them inside, you wash them, you cleanse them, yes, you do that work, you cleanse them, you wash them, then you throw that water away. But you don't throw water away and you throw your child, you throw your brother away, and you throw the basin that you used to wash or to wash and to purify them. That's not what you do. And that is what he calling himself a Christian, and that is how a Christian should be. You be your brother keeper. I don't know where he like skipped that scripture. If he is a Christian, you be your brother keepers, whether he is wrong or not. Yes, you're the covering, you're the keeper. Keep your brother. If things change and it happen like, or the one to be blamed are the Black Americans teens, I wonder how that case would turn to be, because they will not be like spared, or they will not be like given all that time and chance for the investigation. And I don't know why he failed to know all people. This is what we have for now. And if And if you have come along with this conversation, just consider to subscribe, to like, to share, and in that comment section, tell us what your take and your mind. What will you tell this officer? Which message do you have? And for this and many more, subscribe to my channel, and you'll come back with more stories. Thank you for watching.